All right, one more tip talk today. I've got 6 of them, 7 of them. Barefoot walking. Now, as a kid growing up, man, I don't think I hardly ever wore shoes. And most of our ancestors barefooted. Um, or they wore moccasins where they could feel the earth through the hide of the moccasin. I grew up barefooting. It was so good. Feeling the earth. I'm sure if I look back on my life, that early connection of just barefooting alone, not having a mother who constantly said, put your shoes on, put your shoes on. The only time I ever had to wear shoes was school. I'm sure that period of time is one of the things that, I can't prove it, but one of the things that built my deep connection, lifelong connection with the earth up. It's what helped me to become an earth caretaker and work for our planet. Your feet are amazing beings unto themselves. Every part of your body is unique and should be treated unique and is a true gift. The feet, they hold your body up. Acupuncturists have said, and I've heard this, that there are countless spots, power spots, on the bottom of your feet. When you touch the ground and walk, you are feeling the sense of the earth. You are feeling all of the living beings that live in the dirt. You are feeling the earth itself. I remember when I was young, I think about 12, I read a book about this Native American and Indian man named Ishi. He was the last California Indian. It's a sad story, and I'd recommend studying Ishi in every way you can. I think the writer was a guy named Kroger from UC Berkeley. And sometime in the late 1800s, or middle 1800s, 1860 or so, or something like that, I don't have the date exact, he comes wandering out of the woods, Ishi, with a robe on, his hair cut off. All of his people, all of his tribe were murdered by miners, gold miners. He's the last one left, and he was in such grief, he cut his hair off and he wandered around with a robe on. And his people were barefooters. They walked barefoot. This rancher found him and didn't know what to do with him because he couldn't speak his language. This was up near Mount Lassen, California. And so he put him in jail. Brilliant, right? And this educator, this professor at UC Berkeley named Kroger had studied the Yahi people. Ishi was a Yahi Native American, and he heard about it, and he came and sat in the jail and began to breach the language gap and talk to Ishi. And Ishi came back, and he lived at the college at UC Berkeley, and he loved to ride the cable cars in San Francisco. He had a special cave in Golden Gate Park. And even though he had seen his entire world die before his eyes, murdered by the miners, he was this most loving being who shared with people and taught them about how he lived. He took the scientists back to his old home and showed them how to catch fish and how to call deer in and how to make fire and arrowheads. Well, I remember one of the most profound things was looking at his feet and how they built calluses up and how strong they were. And I never forgot that. I could see, right now I'm talking to you and I can see his feet. There they are, right there. And mine were kind of like that in those days, and they were strong. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, if I walk barefoot, it's going to hurt. Yeah, it's going to hurt. I'm not going to lie. Initially, it's going to hurt. And it'll force you to do something wonderful, though. It'll force you to slow down and observe nature, be with the earth. It'll force you to slow down, observe nature, and be with the earth. That's a good thing, okay? It'll force you to feel the earth. It'll make your connection better. And as time goes on, you can you'll build some calluses up more. Your feet will get tougher. If you can't barefoot, then maybe moccasins could help, or very light bottom tennis shoes like Converse or something. I grew up with those when I played sports as a kid. But no thick, heavy boots. And I'm not saying never wear heavy boots. They're a tool. They can be used if you're carrying a heavy backpack or something, and you're working with chainsaws or out. Everything has its use. But the more you can barefoot, the more, even if you're not going to barefoot, the more that when you're out in nature sitting there, like if you're on your vision quest or sitting by a creek or anything, Take your shoes off and let your feet massage the earth and let the earth massage you. There's been whole books written on the importance of barefooting. Whole books. It is a huge thing. If you are a parent, let your kids barefoot. Yes, shoes can be helpful, but let them barefoot. It's one of the best things you can ever do as a parent. Let your kids barefoot. That's what feet are made to do. And their feet speak to the rest of the body. And if you get an ouch or an ooh or an ah once in a while, hey, that's the way it goes. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay? So it's really that simple. I could go into countless stories about it, but you just have to get out there and barefoot or sit barefoot. And you will be one happy person for it, okay? The beauty of barefoot walking. Go for it. Hope.